Will? I will. Helena. Helena. Oh. Ooh. 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 This time.
If there's one person that's enjoying the takedown of Helena and Will, the founders of the Shade Borough, that is Ginger J, because they have been dragging Ginger J. One person that's enjoying this is definitely Ginger J, but big up Bounce and big up everybody. We are getting them out of here. This is the big reset, the great reset, whatever you want to call it, bonfire to the Illuminati. This is what's going on right now, and it's starting with the Shade Borough. So the noise got so loud they couldn't ignore it anymore. So Shade Borough have decided to address the comments that everybody wants to know. Will and Helena, is that you? Who's making this post now? Is that Helena or is that Will? So they say, residents, let's address the elephant in the room. We're aware of recent online posts sharing personal details about the Shade Borough's founders, as well as the circulation of private images and information unrelated to our work or the platform. The Shade Borough is proudly black owned and has remained consistent in its mission and impacted for over 9 years. So it's black owned. So it's black people selling us our own poison. Is that supposed to make it any better? And when they're talking about personal image, no, you're just mad that people sent your pictures. It's all personal, isn't it? Our identities have never been secret. Basic details about us have always been publicly accessible through platforms such as Company House and LinkedIn. The Shade Borough has always been about the platform and the community, not any one individual. Behind this dedicated team of people from different backgrounds who contribute daily to shaping its voice and impact. This is how they start to distance themselves away from accountability. It's not them. It's our reporters. The Shade Borough has always reported on stories already circulating in the public domain. We're mindful that with our reach comes responsibility. We've grown a lot over the years and constantly learning and evolving to ensure we handle stories with care and respect for privacy. That's basically saying we messed up, but we're going to learn from it. Don't kill us for it. Over the past 9 years, we've evolved by listening to our audience and being mindful of our reach. Content on our page is credited appropriately, and when featuring clips from non-public figures, permission is always obtained, just as any responsible media outlet would do. No. You have definitely posted lots of private people's messages without... No, you're talking rubbish. To everyone who's reached out and shown support, thank you. They haven't been reaching out to show support, they've been clapping back. Our focus remains on continuing to grow with our residents and evolve the conversation we've built together. We'll continue to do what we're the best, reflect, discuss and document the culture. Love, Will and Helena, co-founders of the Shade Borough. So now it's Love, Will and Helena. But before, you guys wasn't trying to say who you are. This is what happens when you get forced. So this is Helena. Let's start with Helena Okonzua. Big up Shotter for this. The Shade Borough Limited Active Director. He says she's 31 years old and running your pattern. Not a 31-year-old. Let's welcome Hazel Ravu, the social media manager and writer. Big up Shotter again because he's on their neck. He's literally providing all... And people are going to say, oh, why are you posting? Because you need to know who the people that are putting these things into the culture. Jennifer Matthews, social media coordinator. Let's welcome Israel Ale, content manager. Freelance since 2021. So these are the people that are responsible for the posts. These are the people that are responsible for creating the narrative and pushing it, all right? So don't hide from it. Be happy about your work. Be proud of your work, right? Hazel, you should want to be proud of your work. But in reality, you guys know what you push into the culture. And it's time, when we call it the big reset, this is what's going on. We're resetting all these gatekeepers. Man like William Smith is founder of the Shade Borough. Is that something to be proud of? Well, it is because they're making money, right? But let's just pull this up. This is the picture that went viral. These are the two. This is Will and this is Helena. I see someone getting onto her talking about the rolls in the neck. I'm not one to start shaming a woman, but you got to remember, you put a lot of people through hell. And you know who you done this? To some of your employees as well.
Everyone, I'm actually cringing as I'm doing this video because I never do videos talking to myself on camera. But hang tight, all my real ones, hang tight, all my friends who have been sending me the videos of Bouncer finally exposing Will and Helena. Now, if you knew, you knew. But yes, I used to work for the Shade Borough. I joined their team in 2023 and then they sacked me. And this is my story time. So I've always worked for myself. I've always really been an entrepreneur. But when I got engaged, we were planning our wedding, and I remember saying to my hubby, I need a job because there's actually a lot to pay for and I need like a steady income, so I'm going to start looking for a job. And I'm a child of God. I truly believe that God answers all prayers. So I remember praying and I said to God, God, I need a job. I need to pay for this wedding. And I'm actually a journalist. I studied journalism at uni, but once I left uni, I could never really find a job in journalism. So I dabbled in marketing and music management. If you know, you know, it's whatever. But now I'm a digital marketer. That's my full-time job now. But yeah, in 2023, I applied for this role. I remember telling my hubby, and we were like, Shade Borough, and I was like, but babe, I've always wanted to get in there and change the narrative because I think they're so negative. But I'd love to just get in there and just switch it all up if I had the power. So when I saw the job role, I was like, let me just apply and never know where it could take me, which I did. And I had a 3-stage interview with a whole presentation and everything to just show why I think I'm good for the job, whatever. And all glory to God, I got the job. So I remember starting in August 2023 and I was on a 6-month probation. Now, when I started, I was like, yes, this is my time to shine. And they'd given me the role as chief editor. So there was 2 of us, and essentially how it works is when you're on shift, you have writers that work for you and you kind of like tell them what to write or what to post, what kind of like things to write up, and then you edit and post it onto the page. And my job role was also to be in charge of the website, which they had just launched. So when I was on shift, I'd always like send like positive things to the team. I think we should post this. I think this would be really good, where everybody would just shut me down. Everyone would just shut me down. It's like my ideas were just rubbish. On the website, I was writing articles. I remember one that I really loved and got great traction, which was 10 black female DJs to look out for in 2024. And that got really good traction. The women loved it. I got loads of the girls coming up to me. Like if they saw me on road, they'd be like, oh, thank you so much for writing that about me, whatever. And because my name was on there. So if you knew me, you knew me. Do you know what I mean? I'd do things like how to keep fit on a budget, festivals to look out for, just things for the black culture. Yeah, they didn't like it. I'll also never forget when I was on shift, I was about to finish, and I remember saying to one of the writers, Idris Elba is trying to stop knife crime and he's going to, I think it was like the House of Commons or something at the time. I think this would be a really good post for us to post. I remember the writer saying to me, oh, this isn't going to bang. And I was like, what do you mean it's not going to bang? This is amazing. This is great work that Idris Elba is doing for the community. Let's post it. He just, I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to talk about him, but he was someone that I used to clash a lot with. Whenever I would have ideas, he'd be like, oh, it's not going to bang, it's not going to bang. So anyway, I wrote up the post myself. I remember posting it, logged out of my shift at 10 p.m, woke up the next day, and the post had tens of thousands of likes. Everybody was like, these are the kind of things that we need to be posting. Let's celebrate black people. And I was so proud of myself because I was like, this is how we change the narrative, yeah? We don't need to be bringing our people down. We need to be uplifting them, celebrating them, do the best for them. Let's make a change. So after that, I continued doing what I thought was right, posting positive things, uplifting the community, doing what I thought would help the Shade Borough, you know, and maybe increase their followers. This is where the joke starts. Before I even get to it, one thing I didn't like, and I don't like to badmouth people, but I honestly felt like Will was quite misogynistic. William, whatever. Helena, I didn't really talk to her, but I never saw her face. So as Bouncer is revealing Helena's face, it's also the first time I'm seeing Helena's face. I'd met Will face to face and we'd had like Zoom calls and all that sort of stuff, and he'd have his camera on. But Helena is one person that would never leave her camera on. And so when I've seen her picture now, it's actually the first time that I've seen her. But what was also funny is when we used to have Zoom meetings, Helena and Will would act like they weren't in the same house, but they were husband and wife. It was just weird. They were just always lying about who they were. So I'm actually so glad that Bouncer has revealed their identities, because people need to know who they are. And it's funny because a lot of people have been in my DMs today who actually know Helena and Will. didn't know that I worked for the Shade Borough, and I'm seeing them post things like, I grew up with these people. I didn't know they used to run the Shade Borough. I said, yeah. And they have been for almost 10 years. How are they still here? Anyway, let me get back to my story time. I'm babbling on now, which a journalist, I talk a lot. But I remember having my 6-month probation period meeting. It was in February. We had just booked our wedding venue in January because I was in a stable job. I was like, all right, cool, babe, let's book the venue. So I remember booking it in January. Had my probation meeting in February with Helena, who didn't want to show her face on camera. Cool. She babbled on. And then long story short, she basically said, yes, and unfortunately, you have not passed your probation because your content ideas don't align with our ethos. That's basically her saying, I'm too positive for the Shade Borough. All the content ideas I have don't align with their ethos. Make it make sense. It's because they just wanted to see a lot of shade. They wanted to bring black people down. They didn't want to celebrate them, and they didn't like any of the ideas that I had to help the Shade Borough. Now again, like I said, I'm not one to come on the internet to slander people, talk badly about them, and trust and believe my good friends know how hurt I was when these lot let me go. And I remember crying to Helena, and I was like, you're a woman just like me. You're a mum just like me. And the reason why you're letting me go from this job makes absolutely no sense. You're not even giving me another chance. You're just letting me go. And what was mad, on the day that they let me go, they didn't even let me finish my shift. They basically said to me, an Uber's coming to pick up your laptop and your phone, so please just have it ready. Within the hour that Uber was here, I didn't even finish my shift. They had logged me out of everything. They changed the passwords and everything. And didn't even let me finish my shift. No one checked up on me after, nothing. I remember even crying, and I was like, Helena, I actually can't believe you're doing this to me. And I was quite transparent with them, which I wish I wasn't. I was like, I'm planning a wedding, and I've got a small baby and an older child, and you're just letting me go like that. I said, you know what? God will deal with you accordingly. And God is dealing with them accordingly.
I gave you like 48 hours to say sorry. You started laughing at me. Now listen, Akhi, William, we found your Instagram, and I just wanted to confirm and to show the people that these are the people behind all the madness. These are, one thing I'm gonna say, yeah. You see Steph London, one of the biggest yeah, in our scene that's done crazy numbers. This page single-handedly popped her down and made the community hate her through the narratives that they pushed. Like, understand that.
So my name is Trying, I'm the man, voice, and welcome to the end of the video. Guys, this is the big reset. This is the great reset. We're getting all of them out of here, right? Shade Borough and their co-conspirators, okay? This is what's going on right now. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn notification bells, because this is how we're doing it. We're getting them all